What is going on, guys? It is a Friday, the final Friday here before Clash in Paris, another early WWE show, which I enjoy. Maybe not everybody does, but I enjoy the hell out of these early shows. We got an early Raw coming up on Monday, too. 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Netflix. But SmackDown was in Lyon, France tonight. The go-home show to Clash in Paris this Sunday. We have 3 championship matches on that show coming up this weekend. But we had one tonight. We were supposed to have 2. We ended up only having 1. And that championship changed hands in the main event for the first time in his career. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the United States champion. He beat Solo Sikoa in the main event. And he won the U.S. title in France. And the fans were very happy to see it. They were celebrating with him. Big pyro celebration there at the end. We were supposed to have a women's tag team title match tonight. That got changed. One of the participants in the match not medically cleared at the last minute, so we did not get that match as planned. John Cena was on the show tonight. He was supposed to respond to Logan Paul after the attack that we saw at the end of SmackDown last week when Logan Paul knocked him out backstage. And he did respond, but he responded with words. He used his words. He did not use his fists. He's a very nice guy, this John Cena. Gets knocked out last week at the end of the show, but he remained very calm and cut another promo on Logan Paul. And we have a new match added to the Clash in Paris card. So I was wondering if they were going to bump that up from 5 matches to 6. They have. It is not Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre. I know that was the rumor that was going around the last few days, that they might add that to the show. That is not what the general manager has added to the Clash in Paris card. Instead, it will be a WWE Tag Team Championship match with the Wyatt Six defending against the team that became #1 contenders tonight. Tonight. Feels weird to say tonight. It's still light outside. Look how light it is outside. We'll say tonight, though. In France, it was tonight. So we are going to talk about that. And yes, I know sunlight. It's amazing. Believe it or not, I actually do get sunlight every now and then that shines through. It's kind of nice. Not usually the case when I'm live at 11:30 at night. Or if this was an AEW pay-per-view, I would be going live at 12:30 in the morning. There would be no light shining through. It's kind of nice. You know, I used to do these live pay-per-view prediction streams years ago. And there was always light shining through. I rather enjoy it, as opposed to being a vampire. It was a newsworthy show strictly because of the title change in the main event. Outside of Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa, which I will say, once the MFTs got removed from the equation, stop me if you've heard this before, the MFTs get involved in the main event. Once they were out of the picture, they actually went on to have a good main event. And the crowd was super into it. But outside of that title change in the main event, a very average episode of SmackDown, which is what we're going to talk about here. I have a feeling it's going to go real quick. This is your Friday night SmackDown review here on Friday afternoon. It is August 29th, 2025. I am the Solomonster. For those of you who are with me, because I know I told everybody I'm probably going to go live at 8 p.m. Probably going to watch it early, but go live at 8 p.m. But I said, you know what? Fuck that. There's not going to be a whole hell of a lot going on this show. Let's just get it out of the way now. And get some people maybe who get to tune in as we go along here who normally wouldn't be able to tune in. So thank you for being with me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. Super chats are open. If any of them come in, I know we had one. If any of them come in, I'll be reading them in a little bit. And I also want to just give a mention here because I did mention Clash in Paris is coming up on Sunday. I will be live for the Clash in Paris review. Not immediately after the show. We're going to hold off on that until 8 p.m. That you can hold me to. 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night. Which, of course, means that the sound off will be going up a day early for the second weekend in a row. So keep your eye out for that tomorrow. That'll be episode 927. There's also a video up on the channel right now, a full 25-minute segment that I recorded on the Raja Jackson incident. So all of that content up now or will be coming your way this weekend. Do I burn in sunlight? It's funny. Very funny. People walk around holding garlic when I walk into the room. I guess we'll find out if enough of the light shines through here. I may burn up here on the stream. That'll get some views. So let's start from the top here. After some highlights of the John Cena Logan Paul interaction last week on the show, and Logan leaving him laying after a right hand, a knockout shot at the end of the show, they cut to a Mercedes arriving, not two Mercedes. There were no women's championships for her to challenge for tonight. They cut to a Mercedes arriving outside the building. Logan Paul emerged. He entered the arena. The camera followed him through the gorilla position, and he came out. Thunderous boos here in Lyon. So John Cena said he was a parasite, and it seems to him that the people here seem to think so too. He calls himself a disruptor. I'm not a parasite. He says I'm a disruptor. And the crowd chanted, "Shut the fuck up," which the Netflix censors attempted to censor here. Can I see myself in the mirror? I don't know. I haven't tried recently. I don't know if I see my reflection or not. He says he made TKO $6.6 billion in about 6 seconds, put WWE on Netflix and ESPN. TKO can credit him, I guess, for all of the media rights deals that they have made. He says Cena is the one that represents the old institutionalized version of WWE. He calls himself an athlete or an athletic phenom who will push Cena to his limits and call Cena an imposter. But he called him an imposter in French. He says wrestling is changing and he is wrestling. And if you don't go with the change, then you will be left behind. And of course, he gets interrupted by John Cena's music. And John Cena walks out here in Lyon, and he gets a gigantic, monstrous reaction from these fans. And they sing along to the lyrics of his theme. Once in the ring, he points over to ring announcer Mark Nash, who does his usual ring intros for Cena as if he was wrestling here. It's a fucking promo. He wasn't even wrestling on this show. But he got the full introduction that he normally gets. He called Logan stupid, says that you can't do it on your own, you need the fans, because the fans hold the keys to whether or not Logan can join their family, whether or not Logan could have matches over the course of a 25-year career. Cena says he sees so much potential in Logan. He said the people get angry because they want to like him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who says? I don't know where he got that from. He's looking at Logan. He's like, look at you. The people want to like you. They want to love you. I'm like, speak for yourself, buddy. He says Logan is not a disruptor. He's a wannabe. Logan claims that he wants to raise the business to new levels, but he doesn't put any effort into trying to understand what it is they actually do here. Cena calls himself the original disruptor, said that he was knocking people out with brass knucks 20 years ago, but his read word life on them. Cena says Logan's influence is not what it used to be, and that Logan was missing from a list that he just saw yesterday of the top 25 influencers. I did not see this list. I don't really particularly care who's on the list, but evidently Logan Paul was not on this list. Cena says when Logan makes the front page of the news now, it's for all the wrong reasons. And then Logan uses WWE to save his ass. He says the fans don't fear change, they see through him. And they chant, he's an asshole. Cena then speaks in French. He gets cheered for it. Logan responds in French. He gets booed for it. Cena says he'll show Logan what respect in our family actually means. And he leaves the ring. He goes, hold on a second. And he exits the ring and he starts walking down the aisle. Now, he's still cutting a promo here, but as he's walking down the aisle, he's cutting this promo on Logan. He says respect means that people understand that if you're mean to them, that you were just having a bad day. And so what does he do? He walks up the aisle. He finds the same little kid that he insulted. Now, you remember that, I think it was the first Raw where he cut that first heel promo back in March. So this would have been St. Patrick's Day, maybe. They were in Brussels. Okay, they were in Belgium. And he was cutting that heel promo, and he insulted this one kid in the crowd. And the camera cut to the kid, and he looked crestfallen, right? He was devastated by all the horrible things that John Cena was saying to him. He found this kid. This kid was right there in the crowd, right along the aisleway. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, who is this kid related to? Okay, what employee is this kid related to that they were able to find him very conveniently here in the crowd in France? Before it was Brussels, now it's France. And he apologized to the kid. He apologized to the kid for having a bad day in the past. Meanwhile, this kid, he could not even be bothered to look up at John. John Cena is literally right there in his face. The camera is right there in his face. And this kid has his face buried in his cell phone. Because he's probably very quickly trying to navigate to the camera app, doesn't know where the fucking icon is, or he's all nervous. He's looking at his phone. John Cena, dude, is in your face. Look up. So he's looking at his phone the entire time. And honestly, I think it's a sad commentary on just the state of society today. That this is what people do. This is what kids do. Instead of enjoying the moment and looking at the moment with your own eyes, they're looking at it through a glass screen. They got their faces buried in their phones instead of looking up and just enjoying the moment. I know because I'm guilty of the same thing. And it's sad. Eventually, the kid did look up. He got to look at Cena for a few seconds before Cena went back to the ring. Logan says this promo segment just turned into a charity case. So Logan tells him, hey, wrap it up. And Cena called, well, that's what I was saying about Mark Briscoe the other night. Happy 9th kid, by the way. So Cena called Logan a dickhead and said that he asked for the match, and now you got it. And Cena tells him he has 24 hours to whip himself into shape. Otherwise, he won't be the one ruining wrestling. Wrestling will be ruining him. And that was the end of the opening segment. The intern's kid, probably. Yeah, some intern who works for WWE. Very possible. This was not as good as the promo segment from last week. Another strong promo, though, nonetheless, from Cena. Logan was fine, but I thought Cena was strong here. A bad day, though. He's chalking up his heel turn to having a bad day for 5 months. It wasn't like it was just one day. He had a bad day for 5 months. Despite Logan knocking him out at the end of the show last week, Cena didn't see fit to lay a hand on him. There was no physicality between them whatsoever. Him no-selling the attack, I thought was very stupid. Not anything that we should be surprised by because he also no-sold losing the WWE Championship coming out of SummerSlam. He didn't seem too bothered by it. But I just thought, given the way the show ended last week, and I know Cena is the kind of guy, he's always, he's got to turn the other cheek and he's got to be the bigger man and all that. But I don't know. Didn't seem to be a whole lot of anger coming from Cena. It's a very forgiving man. I don't know. If somebody punched me in the face and knocked me out on the floor in front of the world, I'd probably want to come out and at least try to punch the guy back. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. We go backstage. Kathy Kelly was talking to the Street Profits and B-Fab about facing The Miz and Carmelo Hayes tonight in a #1 Contenders match. We then got a rare Bo Dallas appearance. Yes, Mark Briscoe now has 9 kids. He just had baby Mac.
I am the Lord.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck that tree. Hey, Chris Ludek. Thank you for the learning tree. Appreciate it. Solomonster is live. Oh my God, I didn't know SmackDown was on so early. Oh, now you do. Now you know. But yes, congrats to Mark Briscoe and to Cody Rhodes. Cody and Brandy Rhodes. They had their second child. They have some catching up to do if they want to catch up to Mark Briscoe. I didn't even know that Brandy was pregnant. They kept that very hush-hush. They kept that a big secret. So congrats to both couples. But we got a rare Bo Dallas appearance here. Not Uncle Howdy. We got Bo Dallas, who walked up and interrupted this Street Profits interview. He said the Wyatt Six are a real family. Because he asked the Profits, are you a real family? Because the Wyatt Six are. He says, when you come for us and fail, you're going to find out if he really is your brother. And then Dallas walked away. More spooky riddles. We were supposed to get a women's tag team championship match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending their titles against the Secret Hervice combo of Piper Niven and Alba Fire. But the Secret Hervice attacked the champions in the aisleway as they were making their entrance. And they injured Charlotte Flair to the point where she had to be helped to the back, which meant no women's tag team title match. And instead, it was converted into a singles match between Alexa Bliss and Chelsea Green. Now, this makes the challengers look like a bunch of fucking idiots here because they just cost themselves a tag team championship match. But Piper Niven was supposed to be a part of this. Piper Niven was not here. We had Chelsea Green and we had Alba Fire. They mentioned that Piper Niven was not medically cleared to even travel. So I assume that means she wasn't even there in France. I don't know what the issue is. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but I'll cut them some slack because they were planning on having a tag team title match with 2 of the 3 members of the Secret Hervice. I don't know that they were planning a title change. I can't imagine they were planning a title change here. So honestly, it wouldn't have been a big deal if you would have just substituted Chelsea for Piper. They decided, okay, we don't want to do a title match with Chelsea involved. So this was their last minute decision on how to go about dealing with the situation. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Again, hopefully whatever it is with Piper Niven, it's nothing serious. So we got a singles match, like I said, between Alexa Bliss and Chelsea Green. Late in the match, Bliss went for Twisted Bliss. Chelsea got her knees up. Bliss and Green, they both avoided each other's finish. Alexa rolled up Chelsea for the win. After the match, Chelsea and Alba Fire attacked Alexa Bliss. Charlotte limps back out, comes down to the ring to try to fight off the heels, but Chelsea put Flair down with a mistimed Unprettier, and then Alba hit Alexa with a falling facebuster. It looked like Charlotte took the move before Chelsea even went for the move. Again, it looked very mistimed here. That's why it came off so poorly. I actually put that on Chelsea, when I went back and rewatched it. If you go back and watch, and you may not be able to if you're going to watch on USA later, because I'm almost positive they're going to edit this out. But if you look at what happened here, Chelsea always does this little jump up before she hits the Unprettier. It looked like she did a little jump before the actual jump, and Charlotte, she's face down. She can only go based on the movement that she feels. She probably thought that Chelsea was jumping, but she wasn't. So it just came off very badly there. But again, my guess is that this gets edited off the USA version that's going to air later tonight. You guys can chime in the comments later and let me know. As far as the rest of this, I mean, it's hard to really say anything about it because this was just a replacement for what they actually wanted to do on the show. The match itself, it was decent. It was what it was. Didn't go very long. It's probably not going to have any significance whatsoever. And we'll see if Piper comes back quickly. Then they'll probably just do the match next week on TV. And if she doesn't, I don't know. I don't know if they'll go with Chelsea and Alba or they'll just move on to somebody else. Sami Zayn was interviewed backstage by Jackie Redmond before his match later in the show with Solo Sikoa. Says he feels confident as he did when he main evented WrestleMania. He spoke French to the crowd and they cheered, which is a very easy way to get over with the locals. Just speak their language. They love that. Unless you're Logan Paul, then they don't. After a commercial, we got a video with Aleister Black cutting a creepy promo on Damian Priest. Priest talked about, Priest spoke with Kathy Kelly after the video aired, so this was live. And Priest said that Aleister speaks and dresses like he's educated, and he knows that he's educated in the martial arts. Black wants to be just like him, but he's not. Priest said that he would teach Aleister what it is like to be like him and where he is from. When they meet at some point, there's no date for this match. They haven't announced the match yet. Priest said that he would teach Black a lot about pain, and he would enjoy every bit of violence that he inflicts upon him. They added a match late in the day between Michin and Kiana James. Now, we have not seen Kiana James on SmackDown. I think she might have had a main event match, but we have not seen Kiana James actually wrestle on television. in a very long time. I mean, the last time we would have seen Kiana James in a match, she was still on the Raw brand. She had just been called up in the draft. So that's how far back that goes. So they threw this match out there late in the day in the preview. And the idea is that Michin has to get past Kiana James if she wants to get a U.S. title match with Julia. Right? So that's the premise of this. That sets this whole thing up. Julia came out to the ring with Kiana, who went to attack Michin with her purse as soon as the bell rang. And Michin ducks the purse shot, rolls her up, and pins her in about 5 seconds to win the match. A great debut here for Kiana James. She was Vinci'd. They Vinci'd this woman here on the show. Now, after the match, Julia and Kiana, they attacked Michin. Julia hit her with a knee to the face, threw her into the barricades outside, and then finally hit a curb stomp on the ring steps, which you would think would be a big deal and the announcers would make a big deal about it, but they really didn't. So, Drew McIntyre delivering a Claymore kick to Cody Rhodes into the announce desk is this catastrophic injury angle, and the announcers react to it like it's a big deal, but curb stomping someone on the ring steps only gets a mild reaction. It's a little strange to me. But look, this was fucking terrible. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this. I mean, Julia was fine doing her attack when the match was over, but this was fucking terrible, and it's a great metaphor, I think, for Julia's reign so far as the time and the effort that has been put into it, which is not much. Not much at all. Now, Michin winning this match means we're going to get a Michin-Julia match soon, which is great. It can't come a week too soon because Julia went the entire month of August defending her championship, and fuck that, just having a match at all on television once the entire month of August, and that was the first day of this month. And that's it. We've barely seen her since. She has not been in the ring since. It has just been a very uneventful, forgettable, terrible run so far since she won that championship from Zelina Vega. And the only person she's wrestled since beating Zelina Vega is Zelina Vega. And that's it. And I just don't understand how you go from doing what they're doing with the Intercontinental title in the women's division on Monday and looking at what they're doing with the U.S. title on Friday. Part of it has to do with the fact, a big part of it has to do with the fact that Becky Lynch is holding the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch has had multiple title defenses on PLEs. When was the last time you saw the women's U.S. title defended on a PLE? Fuck if I know. Becky Lynch being in that spot means something. Obviously, Julia or Zelina Vega doesn't mean nearly as much. And so that championship, which was introduced first, that title was introduced in December. We didn't get the IC title until January, but the U.S. title has been just completely marginalized and almost forgotten about. They've done a good job with the IC title on Monday. I wish they would put that much effort in on Friday because someone like Julia could really use it. She's still in the process of being established on this show. They've done a piss poor job of that. Shit like this is not going to help. Drew McIntyre made his way out to the ring next. He looked around ringside, just in case Randy Orton was lurking in the shadows somewhere. McIntyre said, Michael Cole, you kiss Cody Rhodes' ass all the time, so do you have a medical update on Cody? And Cole said, nope. And McIntyre said, I didn't think so. So he got into the ring. He told Randy Orton, come on out, let the fans hear your song. So Randy Orton made his entrance, and the fans did indeed sing his song here in Lyon, as they did last year at Backlash when he was on that show. McIntyre said, well, that was special. And he questioned if Orton attacked him last week out of friendship with Cody Rhodes. McIntyre said Cody has no friends, called him a politician. McIntyre recalled Cody showing no hesitation when he targeted Randy's back during their finals match in the King of the Ring tournament. And then he said Orton is an idiot if he thinks that Cody is his friend. Orton said McIntyre made a compelling argument. But if you think that I dropped your ass last week for Cody, you're wrong. Says, I dropped you last week because I think you're a prick. McIntyre dropped Orton with a Glasgow kiss. He waited for Orton to get back up and went for a Claymore kick. Orton ducked, so Drew just went flying. Landed on his back. Orton strikes the Viper's pose. He's getting all set up for an RKO. Here comes a referee. Here comes Shane Helms. And here comes two security geeks. They run into the ring to stop Orton. And Orton drops both security geeks. He goes to give an RKO to Shane Helms. Hurricane, as they call. They didn't even call him Hurricane Helms. Just like, hey, Hurricane's out there. Not exactly. I didn't see the cape. I didn't see the mask. That's Shane Helms. Two different people. But he goes to give him an RKO and he stops short. And he pats Helms on the shoulder. And then, of course, ultimately drops him with an RKO. And then Orton sets up for a punt kick to McIntyre, who rolled out of the ring to avoid the kick. This was fine. You know, McIntyre is still trying to create friction between Cody and Randy. Orton wouldn't bite. I thought they were going to make this match official for Clash in Paris. There were rumors about it. I thought that was the purpose of this segment on the show. Happening here on the Go Home show was to set up a last-minute addition to the card. There was no mention of this being a Paris match. There will not be any mention of this being a Paris match because the sixth and final match on the card on Sunday was added later in the show. They have elected to put a WWE Tag Team title match on the show instead. Which, I mean, this would have been the bigger match. But anytime they want to give the tag titles some shine on a PLE is good because they typically don't. Like those titles being defended at SummerSlam was the first time they were defended on a PLE. I mean, WrestleMania, were they even defended at WrestleMania? They weren't, actually. Now that I think about it, they were not defended at WrestleMania. That's right. That's when the New Day beat the Viking Raiders. And the SmackDown teams got left off the show, so they had that TLC match on television the following week. So it just goes to show you, they don't get defended on these PLEs very often. But that'll make match number 6 on Sunday. I cannot see McIntyre challenging Cody for the championship anywhere but WrestlePalooza. The only thing that might prevent that is if Cody's schedule of filming for Street Fighter really does extend deep into September, which it sounds like it will. Then there's a chance that they might actually hold off on that until Crown Jewel, but my guess is we get the match on that show. If that's the case, then you got to do Orton and McIntyre first. That would have to be a TV main event. So now we just wait to find out when they're going to actually make the match. They did not make any mention of that being on the show next week from what I saw. Backstage, The Miz was warming up when Carmelo Hayes approached him, and Hayes took issue with Miz stealing his wins over the last few weeks. Miz tried to explain to him, but we're winning. Hayes said, no, you're winning. And Miz said that we're a team and we share the glory. Bo Dallas walked in. He said there are always different perceptions, but perceptions are not reality. I am, he said. Can you handle that? And then he left. Even more riddles from Bo Dallas. Elsewhere in the back, Nick Aldis complained to Randy Orton about his behavior and him attacking security. And Hurricane. Orton is nice enough to present him then with a fine bit of product placement here because he pulls out a little miniature bottle of Fireball whiskey. And he gifts it to Adam Pearce, or he probably should give it to Adam Pearce. He gifts it to Nick Aldis, and then he leaves. R-Truth walks in. It just I love how it just so happens that Randy Orton even had that on him in the first place. Like, Orton is such an alcoholic. He walks around with little bottles of alcohol on him at all times. Has like a flask on him. Is life that tough right now for Randy Orton? We barely see him. He gets to be home with his family all the time. What does he need to walk around drinking for? Then again, he has a lot of kids. I could see where that would drive one to drink. But Orton seems to be enjoying life. I don't think that's the case with him. But R-Truth walks in after Orton left, and he asks Aldis, you going to drink that? And Aldis said, after the day that I've had, yes, I am. Which is great. So that makes 2 alcoholic general managers that we have in this company now. That would actually explain a lot about the booking of SmackDown over the last few weeks. We had the Street Profits against The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. This was a number 1 contenders match. The winners would go on to Clash in Paris this Sunday to challenge the Wyatt Six for the tag team titles. Hayes hit a variation of nothing but net on Angelo Dawkins. That took us into a commercial break. Montez Ford took a hot tag. He hit a standing moonsault on Miz for a 2 count. Miz came back with a DDT for 2 of his own. Miz set up for a skull-crushing finale, but Ford pushed him away. Hayes made a blind tag. Ford hit Miz with this huge top rope frog splash, but as soon as he landed and he bounced over and he's laying there, here comes Carmelo Hayes off the top rope with a frog splash of his own. And he lands it only for a 2 count. The Wyatt Six show up at ringside, which distracted and scared The Miz on the apron, who turns around to take a look at what's going on. That allows Dawkins to get into the ring. He runs over to the opposite corner and he punches Miz off the apron to the floor. And then the Street Profits finished off Carmelo Hayes with their revelation finish to get the win. The Street Profits will get a rematch for their tag team titles on Sunday at Clash in Paris against the Wyatt Six. We got 9 minutes of wrestling here, which is more than most on this show. So I'll take it. This was a solid match. And you know, if Miz is so scared of these guys, why would he even want a tag team title match with them in the first place? If he's going to be this petrified of the Wyatt Six, that it shakes him so much and takes him off his game. But at least the actual tag team, the full-time actual tag team, is getting a match on Sunday. Not a very exciting addition to the card, but at least we're up from 5 matches to 6. Is Triple H okay? Does he have a fever? We're getting 6 matches. Look, I know Evolution had like 7 matches, but a lot of these PLEs, you don't get more than 5. So when I see that we have 6, I'm wondering if Triple H is feeling okay. Not feeling himself. Maybe he needs a Snickers. Backstage, Jade Cargill walked up to Tiffany Stratton and informed her that she spoke with Nick Aldis and she is now the #1 contender for Tiffany's title. Tiffany said, "You're welcome. Because if it wasn't for me letting you in last week, you wouldn't even be in this position. Is it wrong that I barely even remember what went down with these women last week? They were in the main event, right? And Nia was there. I'm trying to remember. These shows are like a blur. They really are." But Tiffany said, again, she said, "You're welcome, and you wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for me." And also she said Jade can keep telling people that if it wasn't for her foot being on the rope, she would have won the title at SummerSlam. Because last time she heard, she, being Tiffany, was undefeated here in 2025. Jade says, "When I beat you, all that dies," as does this fantasy that the two of us were ever on the same level. Neither of these women came off terribly likable here in this segment. Like, I'm watching this thinking, who is supposed to be the babyface here? I guess they're both supposed to be babyfaces, but they come off as heels. It's just a weird dynamic. I've said that about Tiffany for most of the year. Just the way that she cuts a promo and the way she carries herself. It still screams heel to me. But I don't think either of these women are coming off terribly likable in these segments with each other. We cut to Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. They're outside in the parking lot where they belong. Why they were in the parking lot, I don't know. Solo is standing out there, no shirt, he's ready for his match. He's got his U.S. title. Maybe he forgot the belt in the trunk of his car and, you know, he needs an escort to go outside. But they're standing in the parking lot and he's cutting a promo. And he says, "Sami Zayn, 1 Samoan spike tonight and it's all over." And that led into our main event, which was Solo Sikoa defending the United States Championship against Sami Zayn. Sami sent Solo out to the floor. He set up for a flip dive. Tala Tonga moved Solo out of the way. And the show went to a commercial. We were less than a minute into this match. We already have nonsense with the MFTs. Michael Cole said that this was Sami's first title shot since last October. And Sami hit a flip dive and then he threw Solo back in the ring. While the referee was checking on Solo, JC Mateo and Tonga Loa, they grabbed Sami's legs and they pulled him back to the floor. They took some cheap shots. They threw Sami back into the ring. Solo hit a spinning solo, but only for a near fall. Jimmy Uso ran out. He went after the MFTs. The numbers were too much. Jacob Fatu's music hit. Fatu then emerged from the timekeeper's area, fought with Tala Tonga. He ran the big men into the ring post. In the ring, Sami dropped Solo with a Blue Thunder Bomb for a very good near fall. Fatu and Jimmy, they fought off the MFTs outside until they just disappeared. They all disappeared from ringside. And honestly, that's when things really got good here. Sami set up for a haluva kick. Solo rolled out of the ring. So Sami went outside to follow him, but he got caught and he got planted on the announce desk, which did not break. Planted on top of the announce desk with a spinning Solo. That took us into the commercial. And during the commercial, Solo hit his second spinning Solo. After the final break was over, they ended up battling for position on the ropes. Sami hit a sunset bomb, only got 2. Crowd was super into this, though. Crowd was solidly behind Sami Zayn, but all these near falls, like the fans were really into this here. Solo came back with a Samoan drop, went up top, hit a big splash off the top for 2 of his own. Sami was able to evade the Samoan spike, rolled up Solo for 2, then he hit an exploder into the corner. He wanted the follow-up here with the haluva kick, ate a super kick instead as he came out of the corner. But he managed to hit the haluva kick in the other corner, followed by a second haluva kick for good measure, and he pins Solo Sikoa to become for the first time in his career the brand new United States champion. Sami Zayn picks up the win. He celebrated, the fans celebrated. They shot off a big pyro celebration here. And that is how they closed the show. They closed the show here with the feel-good moment. The main event was good. Once the MFTs got driven off is when this got good. Because they bring everything down. The way they're used, it's the same nonsense every week. So once they were taken out of the picture here, that's when the main event got good. I don't know how many more weeks I need to see this show close with some variation of the MFTs and Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. Actually, I know the answer. The answer is none. The answer is none. Because I see it every week. It never needs to happen again. But it will. You know it. I know it. It will. It will happen again and again and again. You can bet on that. But this was an average episode of SmackDown outside of the title change. I would say if there's anything you should check out the last half of the main event when they came back from commercial. From that point on till the end, until Sami won the championship, good stuff. And the John Cena promo as well, good stuff. Not as good as last week, good stuff. At the beginning and the very end. Everything else in the middle, very basic, average stuff. And that was the final SmackDown. Before Clash in Paris on Sunday, we have, you know what? I'll wait until tomorrow to go through the card. I'm going to go through the updated card and predictions on the sound off. That'll be tomorrow, episode 927. Let's check the Twitter poll. I know it's still early in the day yet, but we do have a poll up here. What did you think of SmackDown before Clash in Paris? 65.7% thumbs up, 34.3% thumbs down. So if you haven't watched the show yet, once you do, you can go ahead and vote in that poll. It will be there for you.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Oh, Bobby's World, I love the sounds of that. I do love the sounds of a good Mentos Super Chat. Bobby's World with the $30 drop. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you very much. Actually, let's go through your Super Chats now. I'm just going to do it here. There's not that many of them. Not as many as usual because I did go live earlier than expected here. So I know a lot of people are not around yet. Still working, sleeping. Whatever they may be doing, I watch so you don't have to. But yeah, let me run through these here. We'll start with Clumsy. Clumsy Uno. Actually, his very first Super Chat. And says, I was hoping I could get a birthday shout out. Thank you for getting me through a lot of rough days. You're appreciated for real. Well, happy birthday, brother. I don't know how old you are, but I hope that it's a great birthday. I hope that you didn't have to watch SmackDown. You just watch this review and then go out and celebrate. That's what it's all about. Maybe you'll bump into Nick Aldis at the bar. Him with his Fireball whiskey. You two guys can hang out together. But happy birthday, my friend. Mentos should pay Sol. Hey, could have a brand new campaign. Whole new spate of Mentos commercials and have me in them, and we could have a whole campaign going. I'd love it. Super Pony, happy for Sami. Also, was that Solo's best match? Yeah, probably not. I think Solo's best match, honestly, was probably the last match he had in NXT. I think it was some sort of Falls Count Anywhere match. I don't even remember who it was against. But no, this was not his best match. Victor, buy or sell Mark Hamill's Joker or Heath Ledger? Heath Ledger. Mark Hamill's great. Heath Ledger Joker is the GOAT. Hey, we got Nadir. Hey, Solo, big fan. I was there live, and the atmosphere was amazing. Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere is always amazing when they do these shows over there. It was for Backlash last year. And, yeah, the atmosphere was fun. You know, they were singing their songs. They were chanting for the big names as they came out. Cena got this monstrous reaction. So, yeah, nothing bad to say about the crowd. The crowd was into it, you know, for the most part. Emperor Comet. Much love to all. Stay safe. A fine message. Chris Ludek with the learning tree. Says, thanks for letting me use one of your clips for my channel. I hope you don't mind me doing that. Also, what is your favorite finisher ever? Mine is the Razor's Edge. Mine would probably be the Sharpshooter. If I had to just pick one. Razor's Edge is also pretty high up on that list. Doesn't mean as much now. It used to be a real finish. Now it's not. But then again, neither is the Sharpshooter in most cases. The Mount Vernon kid says, LOL, I thought Alistair was going to say, fight me. He should have. Fight me. So is Clash in Paris the final Peacock pay-per-view? Yes, it is. Not for NXT. For the main roster, it is. For NXT, the NXT PLEs will continue on Peacock through at least the end of the year, maybe March. I think March of next year. And then those will have to move somewhere else. You know, it could end up being ESPN. We don't know. But this is it. This is the last main roster PLE on Peacock. Victor says, thoughts on Obafemi compared to Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu? I don't want to compare them. I mean, they're all going to be big names on the main roster. I think Obafemi is that guy. I think Obafemi needs to be treated very carefully when he gets called up. It's funny, I actually got a mailbag question about him for tomorrow's show. So I'll actually address that on the show tomorrow. Because somebody asked me about how I would book him when he gets called up. So we'll talk about it there. JDFVA says, I hear voice. He hears voices. Yeah, I mean, you hear all kinds of things outside. That's out of my control. I don't know what to tell you, brother. You got lawnmowers, you got dying animals, you got all kinds of shit. It's all good, dude. You'll live. Jerome Eugenio, Speed title gets more love than the U.S. title. The women's U.S. title. Yes, it does. Groovy Goose, between the Raja Jackson incident and other news, if there isn't going to be a reckoning of moderation for Kick, it will never happen. Thanks for the streams. Yeah, I'm not on Kick. I don't watch anybody on Kick. I hear stories about it. It's kind of a free-for-all over there. I don't know. I mean, my understanding is that Raja Jackson was already banned from Kick. Probably takes a lot to be banned on Kick. Beyond that, I don't really see anything happening. Also, we have Bobby's World closing us out. I just want to say that Brett was screwed at Survivor Series 94. Backlund gets the crossface on him. Brett is holding the rope while Earl stares. Owen even points it out, but Hebner basically says, F off, mind your business. True, but then he pulled him away from the rope, and once he was trapped, that was it. That was the beginning of the end for Brett. He was locked in that chicken wing for 6 minutes. 6 minutes before Owen got his mother to throw the belt in, or the towel in, rather. So thank you, Bobby's World and Dr. Scorpio. Sorry you had a mid-U.S. title reign, Solo. It's okay. Not doing my name proud. But there's only one Solo around here that matters. It's this guy right here. Mactub, buy or sell and why? 2000 to 2001 Triple H or Tribal Chief Roman Reigns? I don't even know what that means. As far as personal favorites, I would go 2000 to 2001 Triple H. Just because. I just thought that was peak Triple H, and he had a lot of great matches. So did Roman Reigns. You know, in those 5 years as the Tribal Chief, so did Roman Reigns. But just on a personal level, Triple H. And we have Fart Vandalay is with us here, channel member for 7 months. Greetings from Vandalay Industries. The recent tariffs have put a strain on the import-export business, so I have not been around. And, you know, I was wondering about our good friend Fart Vandalay. I knew it would affect you. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Man, that sucks. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me here on this earlier stream. I know I said I would go live a little bit later, but I said, what the hell? Let's just wrap this all up in one fell swoop, because this SmackDown was not worth staying up late for tonight. It definitely was not. But hopefully Clash in Paris will be. That's the next time I'm going to be live with you. I'll have a full updated preview and predictions for that tomorrow. Sound off 9/27, going up a day early. Probably not until later in the afternoon, but keep an eye out for it. And then Sunday, I'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern for sure. 8 p.m. Eastern for the Clash in Paris review. Also, go back and check out my Raja Jackson video. If you missed it, over 40,000 views so far. And a lot of positive feedback on that. So I thank you very much. Dr. Scorpio says Solo should turn to comedy since his run's a joke. And Nadir. Hey, Solo, big fan. Logan was booed so loud we couldn't hear the promo in the crowd. You know, when Logan came out and he started to get booed, it reminded me of the boos that Cena got when he came out in Chicago for Money in the Bank in 2011 against Punk. Where as soon as the music hit, like in this case, it was when Logan walked out, like just these boos that just reverberated through the crowd. That's kind of what it felt like to me. So yeah, no, he got some super heat here. And Cameron Spencer, your thoughts on people who think the Raja Jackson situation is funny? I don't find anything funny about it at all. I think those people are very dumb. Simple as that. Very, very stupid. Not a whole lot to laugh about when it comes to that situation. All right, I'm going to see you guys on Sunday night. Sunday night for the Clash in Paris review, and tomorrow, episode 927 of The Sound Off. Thank you for hanging out with me early here on a Friday. Now go enjoy the rest of your night. Go have dinner. I'll see you guys this weekend. Take care.